Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's exercise is creating a flat wash. I'm first drawing a cube about 8 centimeters square. It can be any size that you want, but anywhere around the 8 to 10 centimeters range is about right. I'm doing this on a scrap of watercolour paper. You can use cartridge paper or even photocopier paper just as a practice, but ideally some form of thick paper. So I'm creating the square just to give me something to work to, some shape to work to. It's good practice before you undertake a large piece of work to do this sort of thing. And sometimes if I've not been watercolour painting for a while, I'll do this exercise just to sharpen my skills up. Okay, I've mixed some French ultramarine, enough to easily complete this square. It's a good idea to make sure you've got plenty of paint mixed to start off with. You'll see this is quite a wet loading of the brush. The idea is when you start a wash off, you should have a good bead of paint. As you can see, I'm charging this up with a bead of paint to keep the watercolour flowing and to stop it drying out, to stop you getting some dry patches within the wash. I'm now dragging this down slightly. I tend to leave this at both ends dragged down slightly so it gives me a lead in for the next line of wash. Again, I've loaded the brush up. This is because it was getting slightly dry. Make sure you have the artboard tilted at this stage, about 20 to 30 degrees. It just helps the wash progress down the page and stops any backwashes or back runs from the paint. I'm working a little bit quicker now as I've established the lines. I'm making sure that that bead is charged up. I drag the paint down with the brush gently, and you can see I just go across. As long as that bead's maintained, you'll be absolutely fine. You'll create a really flat colour. The different texture you can see on the paper is because I've used the reverse of it. With watercolour paper, you can use both sides, and sometimes you may find that the smoother side is better for you, sometimes the rougher side. I'm making sure that everything is kept charged up still. I'm dragging down the lines as close as I can. There are one or two tricks to get a perfect line down that side, but this is great for these sort of purposes. Okay, so we're getting quite close to the bottom now, so you must make sure that this bead is kept charged up. I'm just adding a little bit more paint. This is getting towards the final stage, so make sure that you also fill in any potential white areas that you might leave on the way down, because you won't be able to touch them in afterwards. And now I'm using the rest of the bead. This is so I haven't got too much left in the corner when I've finished. I'll now dab the end of the brush just to dry it out, make it a bit more absorbent, and then remove the excess so you get a nice even colour. That's it for this lesson. If you can please look out for future lessons, subscribe and give me a like, as it really helps build the channel. Thank you. Goodbye.